What's going on, friends? The past several years at Harley-Davidson they haven't been good. Let's just be honest about that. But one good thing that's coming out of Harley-Davidson now is the fact that we are finally starting to get some things that we were calling for a couple of years ago. Right now, the new CEO at Harley-Davidson, he has pretty much cleaned house when it comes to Harley-Davidson and the upper management. Anybody that didn't see the vision, they're out. 2 months into the job, and Harley-Davidson's new CEO is already assembling his army. Anybody that was currently at Harley-Davidson that thought it was more important to follow the latest corporate fad and didn't have the vision of just building great motorcycles, well, they lost their jobs, and he's bringing in people that are truly invested in building great motorcycles and building Harley-Davidson back to what it once was. So anybody on the board at Harley-Davidson that wasn't following along with that, or they had a history of basically driving the company into the ground and going along with all the things that ruined the company, they got sent packing and sent to the unemployment line. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Harley-Davidson has also stated that they are absolutely committed to the headquarters in Milwaukee. Now, here recently, a lot of people have been wondering what's so American about Harley-Davidson with all the overseas talk and manufacturing over there and then shipping the bikes back to the US. Now, as many of you may recall, the idea behind that was they were only going to do the Revolution-powered motorcycles overseas and ship them back to the US. But what this is actually signaling is that if the motorcycles are destined for the United States, they are going to be built in the United States. Now, as far as the manufacturing for other countries done overseas, a little closer to where they're going, that is yet to be seen. I don't know if that manufacturing business is actually going to come back to the US. I doubt it. But it'd be nice if they would shutter those plants and move all production back here and then ship them out from the United States to all over the world. Now, there's a lot of fires yet to be put out at Harley-Davidson, but we've gotten word that a new place they're starting is they're going to start revamping the lineups. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that means something kind of back to the way they used to be, because honestly, since Willie G retired, the bikes just haven't been the same. They just don't strike you. They're still pretty, they're still good bikes, but it's just not what it used to be, the way you could just look at those and go, yeah, that's it right there. But there is some more good news there with a couple of brand ambassadors that have been hired by Harley-Davidson that are coming back, and hopefully they'll follow in Willie G's footsteps. The first hire Harley-Davidson made is he hired Bill Davidson, and Bill Davidson is going to be advising Artie Starrs personally, and not only that, Bill Davidson is going to be in charge of rider culture, product development, and also community development. Now, we all know how great the dealership experience has been the last decade, and for some people even further back than that. But the other interesting brand ambassador hire is Karen Davidson. Yes, Karen Davidson is going to be in charge of dealership experience exclusively, as well as advising on marketing and community culture. Guys, this is huge. Hiring Bill Davidson and Karen Davidson, these aren't some movie stars, some celebrity that knows nothing about Harley-Davidson. They are so out of touch with reality, they have no idea what's going on with common riders like you and I. This is a great start in restoring the culture of Harley-Davidson by hiring Karen and Bill Davidson, two people that are, well, essentially Harley-Davidson. They're not some Hollywood actors, they're not some celebrities that run in these circles of other rich people and are so out of touch with the everyday riders and what people really want. They're not just sitting there standing by a motorcycle and telling you how great it is and how happy that Harley-Davidson gave them a free motorcycle, as you may remember in the 2018 Softail reveal, which that was pretty much the common theme. Why do I have a celebrity, this movie star, telling me how great these new motorcycles are when Harley-Davidson just gave them one for free? So what better way to start restoring the culture around Harley-Davidson than with two people that are essentially family stewards of the Harley-Davidson Motor Company legacy? I thought that was an excellent move by the CEO. This is just the beginning of what sounds like and looks like it's possibly going to be a bright future for Harley-Davidson. Do I see the bikes of yesteryear coming back? Probably not. We're probably not going to see bikes like that I think we're going to continue with the Milwaukee 8, but that's all right. If we're going to take the Milwaukee 8, one of the most powerful Harley-Davidson V-twins that's ever been produced in air and oil-cooled form, maybe kind of half-ass liquid cooling with the twin cooling, but if we're going to take that now and kind of bring back the nostalgia of the older bikes, the ones that really caught your eye, that you could stare at for hours and kind of build that around that engine, I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody. And then looking at refocusing on the lineup itself and also starter bikes and trying to get the prices down on the motorcycles to get the inventory moving, I think it's going to be good for everybody, to be honest with you. Just simply the fact that Harley-Davidson is pushing all the corporate fads aside and not aligning with all the cool things that were whatever in the news that everybody else was doing, and they're simply getting back to trying to build great motorcycles, sell them at a fair price, and move as many of them back out in the community as they possibly can. This is an excellent start before the 2026 models even come out. And guys, we should probably really start getting excited about the coming years. I absolutely love the fact that Harley-Davidson is looking at expanding the lineup, getting to a lower price point while keeping quality in the motorcycles and moving away from this premium brand idea that we only sell to a certain group of people and not everybody's welcome. That is absolutely the right move. Because as we all know, price is a huge driving factor of getting people on Harley-Davidson motorcycles or getting folks that have maybe been burned by Harley-Davidson in the past, getting them back to the brand and giving them another shot. Creating a much more welcoming dealership experience and getting away from that general consensus in everybody's mind that the dealerships just suck, which has pretty much been agreed upon by many people out there. This is the way that you bring people back to the brand. Harley-Davidson is open for business and they want your business. Whether you're brand new to the brand or if you bought one in the past and went to another brand, Harley-Davidson is really going to come out and say, we want you back. Because who wants to buy a motorcycle from a dealership when you go in there, they treat you like shit, they don't act like they want your business, or God forbid you bought one and then you went through hell with warranty or service issues. That's not a good look for the company. And Harley-Davidson has taken the stance that a bad dealership reflects bad on us as a whole, which it truly does. I'm just happy that we finally got somebody in there, and he's also getting like-minded people that realize reinventing the wheel with Harley-Davidson isn't the way to go. They need to get back to what actually made them great, and they're making all the moves to get that going forward. This is the first time in several years that I personally have felt hope for Harley-Davidson, and I truly hope to see some new pricing, some new models, and also these new entry-level models. With the way things are shaking out at Harley-Davidson, I really got my fingers crossed that they don't blow it when it comes to the entry-level market, because guys, right now the entry-level market is absolutely on fire. Anybody that's making a good entry-level motorcycle, they can't keep them on the showroom floors. But at the very least, with the reworked lineup they keep speaking of, I'm really hoping that it kind of carries on the legacy of the older motorcycles and gives us that look and feel that I know we all miss. Because guys, the new bikes, they may not be so bad, they may not be absolute garbage, but the problem with the new ones is that they just don't carry that look and feel of the older bikes and what you'd really expect from a Harley-Davidson. Just because it's new doesn't absolutely mean it's junk. I just feel like that they really kind of missed the mark on the new 2024 redesign and then the carryover into 25. But time will tell. We'll see if we get it straightened out on that front. But guys, I want your opinions. How do you think this is going to shake out? Not only has the CEO been saying all the right things, but now he's making what appears to be all the right moves with the people that he's bringing in to try to get your business back and give you a bike that you're going to love for years to come. But anyhow, guys, let me know your thoughts down out in the comments. Are these the right moves or the wrong moves? But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.